Luke chapter 17, verse 32. Remember, in the NLT, remember what happened to Lot's wife. Call Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, rule well and teach well. Shalom to the hopefully like men that scattered abroad, pushing the truth without sincerity. And shalom to the very, very few sincere sisters. Right, that's taking heed and getting order in these last days, man. Right, hey, we all building ourselves up so we can have that wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding, and be stable inside these end times. Right, but like I said, I'm the brother. I'm on Lord willing, this video's edifying, right, and just dialing on the sisters, right, because a lot of sisters do have children, and we are coming to that time period where you're going to have to apply these scriptures, Isaiah 33:6, right? Because it's going to be heavy decisions going to be made, right? And when we come to this truth, we're sacrificing, right? We're putting everything off, right? For the Lord Yahushua's sakes, man, right? To get in good graces with him. We're putting it all off. Isaiah 33:6, it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time and strength of salvation, right? The fear of the Lord is his treasure, right? So what I'm building up to say is, we come to the time period where they're going to have the MOTB presented in front of you. You're going to be inside the concentration camps, man. Got the guillotines up there, But the thing is, are you going to sell out, right? Just so your kids can eat, or you're gonna, see it through and be delivered, Lord willing. Scriptures talks about things written before time, written for our time of learning. Right? It's about sacrificing, man. Just like, with the time with Abraham, with Isaac. Right? The Lord wants to see you finish your lot. You don't want to fall at the end. Fall when you get tempted, right? So the Hebrew word for stability is amunah, right? It goes into what? Firmness, right? Steadfastness. You firm for the Lord, truly truth. You're steady, right? Hey, that's beautiful, right? Because it's the spirit that we be in. We call y'all the weaker vessel, but we also here to help prep you for the battle. You might not be with a man at the current time, right? But if you're holding on, right, in them days of, let's say, the food famine, the Lord's going to make sure he feeds you. And then he going to, eventually, have you find a man in the Lord. But you got to hold it. You got to hold it in the road. With that being said, the temptation is going to be coming to you. Your child may die. That's just the reality of it. Your child may die in this process. But, hey, you gonna see them babies again. That's just the reality to it, man. And that's what the bigger picture of it is. That's what we try to help the sisters realize, because we know America's pretty much catered to the female, so they can't really see it on a bigger picture of it, like how the men can see it. Well, first, the Lord speaks through his servants, the prophets, the men first, so we're trying to help you see that bigger picture. We're trying to help you see the reward, help you see what the sacrifice is going to get you, right? This is the book of, and I'm going to play this clip right quick. Just want to bring these out. Sirach 2:1, right? I just want to bring out this point right here. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation, right? So also you sisters, man, you sincere sisters, when you come to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua, just understand it's going to come with trial, right? We're on trial till the Lord can get us. Right, we're proving ourselves each and every day, But the hour of temptation, that's going to be a heavy trial for everyone, every one of us. The Lord's going to max out our faith, man. He's going to try us to the nth degree, But we know when it comes to sisters, right? The daughters, right? The kids, Salaki, the kids can be that stumbling, right? You got some males like that too, right? But this video's is aimed towards the sisters, right? But just like I said, hold it in the road. Understand that, hey, some kids may not make it on this side, man. That's just the reality, right? But you hold your faith, You hold your faith. Look at how it was with Abraham, right? The angel stopped him in the last bit, at the last second for you to put that dagger through Isaac. All right, cool. You know what? Don't do it. You showed your faith. And that's what the Lord wants to do, man. That's what He wants to see, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video, and like I said, dive inside some scriptures, and Lord willing, is edifying.
Many mothers will accept the mark of the beast, and here's why. What's going to happen when you can't buy food for your starving child, baby, or you can't buy medicine for your dying baby, or you see them about to off your child or baby? You're going to have to make a very swift decision.
Right, and I'll pause right there because, like I started off with, remember, Lot's wife, she turned back around because of the thing that she has left, the thing that, pretty much she was straight, but, thing about it is, we know where we're, in this modern time, we know where we're going, we know that that narrow path that we have to get through in order to get to the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So with that being said, they're going to present that MOTB. It's going to be a food famine, right? But don't you turn back the progress that you have already accumulated just to turn back because your child hasn't ate. You're gonna have you don't want to take that C-hip because just to try to feed your child. Now you're finna cause you and your child to get destroyed, man.
Guess what? Most mothers are that connected with their child. And so during those days, there's going to be many. They're not going to let their baby pass away from starvation. They're not going to let their baby pass away from... But in order to get those things, you have to accept the mark. And so what will end up happening is their baby won't obviously accept it because a baby can't consent to the mark, but they will. And so what will end up happening is they will sacrifice their eternity for their baby who's going to be with Jesus in eternity, all because of the moment of not understanding the implications of it all.
Ooh, that's heavy. So, hey, that's what you got to really consider. Are you going to let 5 seconds cost you your eternity, right? Getting destroyed on this side? Or you're going to take it to the chin and understand this is a part of my faith, my trial, And like I said, it's an hour temptation. It's to test everybody, right? But you got to understand that, yeah, your kid's going to be begging, crying, damn near gone in and out, and begging for food. But you cannot let that mess up your path. Matter of fact, the scripture like that inside Sirach. It was saying like that, it was mentioning like for the men, don't let your mother, mom, child, wife, kids. I got to see if I can pull that up right quick. If my memory serves me correct, what will I go to? I don't think it's 34, but we about to see. So like I'm checking on my other phone right quick. I just check it on this phone. I'm tripping. Something to that degree. Ecclesiastes. It was 33. Right. So Khan, like I said, the Lord is speaking to the men, starting at verse 18 on down. But I just want you to understand where I'm coming from, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't let your baby be the reason why you never crossed the finish line, all because that baby was starving, right? This is a part of being ready for the battle. Right? It's gonna be a battle. You're gonna have those thoughts, like, it can creep up, especially with the sisters being a weaker vessel, a female being a weaker vessel. Those demons are going to increase, but you gotta be ready to fight and battle in the spirit. Right? It says, "Hear me, all ye great men of the people, and hearken with your ears, ye rulers of the congregation. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again." So like I'm just elaborating on, like, pretty much on a small comparison, right? The Lord told the men not to let thy wife, thy brother, and friend have power over thee, right? Don't change their mind, right? You know which way you're supposed to be going, So for the sisters, that have kids, don't let your child get the power over you to where you're like, what, I got to feed them, right? Because the Lord said, "My servants are going to eat." You are inside that category of a servant. You trying to follow the Lord the best way you can, all right? Matter of fact, let me grab that. The Lord said we're going to eat. So if your child is not part of the small remnant, it can't fit. You can't force it, But don't you turn around to try to plead the baby, man. Right? The Lord said we're going to eat. We're going to eat. That's just the harsh reality to it. Isaiah 65, verse 13. "Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed." So just the point, man, we are going to eat. You sisters are going to eat, but don't get caught up with the cares of this world, trying to please your child and receive that MOTB. Even if it comes to that beheaded, think about the book of Revelation 20:4. I can grab it, even though, the Lord talks about how the elect on the 144, but hey, don't let none of these things, throw you off your rocker, because this, like I said, this is the hour of temptation. This is what we're talking about. This is what we've been talking about for the longest. Right? So right now we're preparing for the test. Because when that test is here, you're not going to have people around. It's on what you've been studying, what you've been prepping for. Right? But like the brother saying in the video, we do know a lot of females are going to take it. Why? Because they don't even have no wisdom, not truth, and understanding. And they wasn't prepared for it.
And so, woe to nursing mothers in this particular time period, and woe to parents in general who are, and it is a slippery slope, right? Because there is a such thing as idolizing your kids, but there is also a such thing as, like, man, like, you want to protect them with all your heart. And so that's where the deception will come in, right? Is where he's going to use the things you love and care about the most to capture your eternity. And so you can be with him in the lake of fire. And so this is a urgent message to those who, listen, remember when Abraham was taking his son up to sacrifice him, God replaced his son Isaac with a ram. Okay? And so in the same breath, have that same faith. But either way, God sent his son to die on the cross for all of us. Okay? And so in that same way, you have to be willing during this time period to sacrifice. Parents and mothers out there, you're going to have to be willing to sacrifice. It'll be the hardest thing in the world, but I'm telling you, that's how so many moms, so many parents are going to find themselves losing eternity.
Ooh, hey, Khan, I want to grab that inside the book of Genesis chapter 22. Because that's all it was, right? It's a trial of your faith. Like I said, I'm speaking to the sincere sisters, right? We already know the 2/3 female, they gonna do it. Kids ain't no gonna be destroyed, man, right? But for you elect, sincere elect sisters, right? The Lord gonna cover you, right? But it's all about the trial of your faith. That's what it's all about. Matter of fact, before I read this, let me grab in the book of Romans, chapter 15. right? 15 verse 4, it says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience," right? Through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, right? Read that one more time. Romans 15 verse 4. "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning," right? And that's how we build up our wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding, man. That's how we be able to stand in our temptation. Because we're looking at the accounts that has happened already. We're looking at our forefathers, what they did and how they came out. You know, what was the ending of it, right? It says that we through patience, right? Hey, the Lord says it's all about patience and suffering, man. Right? We talk about being uncomfortable. You know, the elder Gabar always talks about, you know, be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? Seeing your child die in front of you, that's very uncomfortable, you know. But you don't need to give in and be like, no, well, fuck it, my child gotta eat, you know. I'm gonna take the C-hip so I can give her to get her something to eat. No, it don't work like that, man. Well, you can work for it if you want to, but you know what's behind it is destruction, right? But hey, you gotta wait when the Lord wants to feed you. Right, until then, you gotta keep enduring. And that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, right? And that comfort give us that ease off, man. It gives us the edge off, right? The Lord is gonna feed us. We don't know when, but he said he's gonna feed us, right? Don't take it upon yourself to do so, right? Matter of fact, another quick one right quick. Proverbs chapter 14 and 12. "There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death," right? So you may think you about to take this C-hip, then get your child fed and take the C-hip out. No, you just marked yourself for death, man. You just bowed to the image, you know? He said, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart," right? Proverbs 3 and 5, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths," right? "Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil." So kind, right? You leaning upon Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he gonna make sure he gonna not make a fool of yourself. Matter of fact, let me grab one more scripture, Salakia. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and 10. "Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?" Right? The Lord didn't misuse the men that called upon him, man. Right? They called and he came. You know? Like I said, going to Daniel in the lion's den, Abraham, right? Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. You know, I think I said Daniel. But yeah. The Lord knew there was in help. He knew there was in a tough situation, and he came through for him, man. All right, so this is what he mean. Hey, things written before time, written for a time of learning. Right, the Lord ain't gonna forsake you. You just don't jump off your own will, do your own will. Then he got to leave you right. He got to leave you where you at. Right, so I'm gonna close out with this right here. It's Genesis chapter 22 and verse 6. So right, so it says, "And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. He took the fire in his hand and a knife." Matter of fact, let me go up some. I just started at one. Yeah, I just started at one and I ended off in verse, I think 14. But I'm going to just run straight through it though. "And it came to pass after these things that Yahweh did attempt Abraham." Right? It's all about a test, man. Right? It's all about a test. Let me see if I can get the definition for it. Here we go. It's pretty much the same thing. Right? Convince, persuade, induce. Right? Sweet talk, smooth talk. Right? 'Cause that's in the day. End of the day, you know, he gonna smooth talk. He gonna see what you really hitting on. You know, is you really standing on what you've been studying? You know, speaking for us in this modern time, right? Is you standing on what you've been studying? You know, because I'm gonna test you, right? It said, "And said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. Right, so the Lord, Abraham had got a command, you know, he gonna use Isaac as a burnt offering, right? So guess what guess what Abraham did? He got the hell on, right? He told Isaac, hey, let's go. Got a surprise for you. Right? It said, and Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass, right? Going to a donkey. It says, and took 2 of his young men with him and Isaac, his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place of which Yahweh had told him. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad, right, talking about Isaac, would go yonder and worship and come again unto you, right? Gonna do that and come back. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, my father. And he said, here am I, my son. And he said, behold, the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for a burnt offering? Because he ain't knew what was going on. Normally, you would use a lamb, for burnt offerings, right? But it wasn't one, so he questioned his father, like, hold on, so what a lamb? And Abraham said, my son, Yahweh will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. Right? So whole time he telling, it's gonna be a lamb there. But whole time, Isaac is that lamb, right? Which in the reincarnation will be, Yahweh Shah, right? But what was that? Verse 9. It says, and they came to the place which Yahweh had told him of, and Abraham built an altar. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. I could just bet he was probably freaking out, like, hold on, what you doing? What you doing? Don't set me on fire, Don't kill me. Right? But hey, it was a command, Verse 10, and Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son, right? You know how you say you got both hands on the handle of the knife or the dagger, and you reach all the way up in the air, and you about to come down with that force, right? It says, and the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, here I am. And he said, lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest Yahweh, right? Yahweh, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, right? Because in the day you don't want to let the Lord gave you a command. That's it. You abide to the command. Point blank. Don't let nothing be the reason why you didn't listen to the Lord. Right? It says, and Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. See how beautiful that was? See how the patience and listening to what the Lord has said to do? Boom, out of nowhere, you got a ram right there. Able to do the burnt offering with the ram. And Abraham called the name and Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, and as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord Yahweh it shall be seen. Right? Pretty much a monument. Right? So it just showing you the faith, man. Right? Just showing you the faith of when the Lord say do something, right? So in this time the Lord is saying, hold fast till I come. Don't let no man take thy crown. All of those things the Lord is telling you to do is pretty much until you get here, right? Just keep your patience, right? Understand that, everybody's child is not going to make it. It's a beautiful thing for your child to make it, but if not, you must still remain calm, right? You're still being tested, right? Matter of fact, I had one more. Just the Lord willing, you understand the point that I'm coming from for you sisters, right? But on Matthew chapter 19, verse 29, it says, "And everyone that have forsaken houses or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life," right? Because at the end of the day, you sisters, y'all put money inside y'all spiritual bank account as well, But when he meaning forsake, meaning not, it's just like, pretty much you putting the Lord above, your kids, your wife, your husband, you know. You putting the Lord before. Like I said, so some of you single sisters that have, kids, you have to forsake them, right? You have them, but if it requires for the a situation, a position to where you got to choose the MOTB or the kids, you got to choose the MOT. Man, I said it all backwards. The choose to pretty much have for your kids to get beheaded, right? Get beheaded. You got the MOTB on that same side, or to keep striving after Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You gotta keep striving after Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You gotta let the Lord take on that part, man. If it's not for them to make it, it's not them for make it. It's not for them to make it. But with that being said, you're showing your faith in the Lord. You're willing to lose it all. Lose it all for the Lord's sake, right? And you're gonna pretty much the Lord's gonna pay you back. That's all to it, But Lord willing, that's it on that. Lord willing, was edifying, uplifting. Hopefully the point was made to you. But I'm gonna give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua by Shem Kakadash, and on to the next one. Shalom.
Many mothers will accept the mark of the beast, and here's why. What's going to happen when you can't buy food for your starving child, baby, or you can't buy medicine for your dying baby, or you see them about to off your child or baby? You're going to have to make a very swift decision. And guess what? Most mothers are that connected with their child. And so during those days, there's going to be many. They're not going to let their baby pass away from starvation. They're not going to let their baby pass away from, but in order to get those things, you have to accept the mark. And so what'll end up happening is their baby won't obviously accept it, because a baby can't consent to the mark, but they will. And so what'll end up happening is they will sacrifice their eternity for their baby who's going to be with Jesus in eternity, all because of the moment of not understanding the implications of it all. And so woe to nursing mothers in this particular time period, and woe to parents in general who are, and it is a slippery slope, right? Because there is a such thing as idolizing your kids, but there is also a such thing as you want to protect them with all your heart. And so that's where the deception will come in, right? Is where he's going to use the things you love and care about the most to capture your eternity. And so you can be with him in the lake of fire. And so this is a urgent message to those who, listen, remember when Abraham was taking his son up to sacrifice him, God replaced his son Isaac with a ram. Okay? And so in the same breath, have that same faith. But either way, God sent his son to die on the cross for all of us. Okay? And so in that same way, you have to be willing during this time period to sacrifice. Parents and mothers out there, you're going to have to be willing to sacrifice. It'll be the hardest thing in the world, but I'm telling you, that's how so many moms, so many parents are going to find themselves losing eternity.